welcome everybody. Come on in, say hello. I want to welcome you all here tonight. And in our time together, we are going to be talking about retired athletes, and specifically I have featured is Mohini Bhardwaj. I'll explain her and her credentials in a minute. I'll get there in a minute, but hey, if we've never met, I am Janae, founder of Transition What Now, where I specialize in helping others thrive in transition. I am an author, an entrepreneur, a wife, and a homeschooling mother of 5. I've led over 2,000 live webinars and obviously written a book for retired athletes, so now I get to do these videos to help support life beyond sport. All right, so I am going to start. Mohini's going to sit here and look pretty for a minute as we do all of our homework and check-in from last week. And yeah, come on in, say hello. Last week we talked about identity. So if you weren't here or didn't see the video, you can always catch the repost on Transition What Now on my Facebook. Also, we're going to be posting that on my YouTube channel for Transition What Now. And you can watch the repost anytime. So we talked about identity. It's the huge thing that everybody talks about in retiring. And I want to check in with your homework. Did you practice your identity word? Remember, we didn't want to be identified by what we did. I'm Janae the gymnast, I'm Mohini the gymnast, but by who you are. So if you practiced your identity, give me a thumbs up or just in the comments later. If you forgot all about me and forgot about the identity piece, thumbs down. But you can continue to practice that. That is not something I just wanted you to practice for 1 week and then be done with it, right? You're going to keep practicing it every single day, every month, practicing who you are, okay, in that identity piece. So that was that. On to this week. This is something I'm really excited about, that I get to like come live at locations with, lost a little connection, but we're back. So I get to be live with some really fabulous athletes. So I'm going to introduce Mohini. And oddly enough, Mohini and I did college gymnastics together. So when I was at Penn State, she was at UCLA. Mohini was on a whole new level than I was. So Mohini actually was, though, at the meet. I thought this was funny, is that she was at the meet. I was thinking about this on the way here, that I got my career-ending injury, which brought me to you today. So we were competing against UCLA at Penn State when that injury occurred. And we have since discussed that competition. And though we weren't like hanging out and friends then, she fully remembers that competition. So she was at UCLA. She went on, and she obviously did world championships and national team before UCLA, Olympic trials, and then at UCLA was an 11-time All-American, a 4-time national champion, and then went on to, this is a rare in our sport, after college went on to become an Olympian. So she was a silver medalist at the 2004 Games and was captain of the team. So if any of you watched that Olympic Games, you saw yours truly, and she's here with us tonight. So did I miss? I'm sure I missed a lot, but that was basically all you need to know, because all I have to say is she was a silver medalist at the Olympics as a gymnast, and that's humongous. So I wanted to bring on some pretty fabulous athletes and showcase what their retirement was like. I know if you've gotten my book or read my book, that you've seen I did a lot of showcasing of some celebrity athletes, and I want to continue that with new athletes that I meet along the way, not only gymnasts obviously, but all sports. And so one thing that I wanted to start with Mohini is we're going to talk to her about her transition out of sport, what it was like, and then what I have noticed is a lot of these fabulous athletes have some really cool things they've created to give you guys ideas of in your retirement. There are some really neat things that you can do beyond retirement, okay? And get creative. Another big thing we talk about is, what could I ever do physically, right? I'm not 30 hours working out a week or 20 hours or whatever it is. And so what are things you can do physically that I think this chick has really done some good stuff. So I am going to start with our first question, and that is, what, Mohini, did your retirement look like? What kind of things did you experience, and what had you decide to retire?
Okay. Oh, wow. Well, I think I felt like my retirement was an absolute mess and a disaster. In all honesty, you guys are talking about identity, and that's one of the main things that I really struggled with, and what to do with my time. My retirement was voluntary. I was continuing to train after 2004, and I had qualified, and USA Gymnastics had asked me to do American Cup. I just wasn't training as hard as I could have been, and I felt like I wasn't ready for the meet, and I wanted to give somebody else, the new blood, have the opportunity to be in the meet. So I ended up deciding not to do that competition. And after that, I just decided, well, I'd rather retire on a high instead of continuing to just do the sport and kind of just fizzle out. So it was really my choice.
Excellent. Which is a nice thing to have. I'm sure not all of us have had that, but that's a neat place. Doesn't mean that you didn't struggle, right? So we're going to talk about that in a second. So the next question is what did your first year post sport look like? Like what did you go through, the challenges and the excitements? Like I feel like it could have been nice or happy or exciting, or it could have been really challenging, you feel lost. Like what kind of things do you remember experiencing?
Well, this was post 2004, so I was actually pretty busy, and I was doing appearances and some public speaking and going to meets and handing out medals and stuff like that. It was nice to not have to work out every single day, and it was nice. I was able to travel home and visit my family, and I moved away from home when I was 12, so I was able to spend holidays with my family and do things that I've wanted to do. So it gave me that opportunity. But on a daily basis, if I wasn't traveling and doing something and I was just at home, I didn't really know what to do with myself, and I knew I did not want to do anything active. So I just didn't really do anything. I mean, in hindsight, I really wish...
Because you didn't have to.
I know, I didn't, but I wish I just would have found something. Because some of the stuff that I'm doing now, like athletes in their 20s excel at, I wish I would have found it sooner.
Earlier.
Yeah, I wish I would have just tried some different things. I didn't really want to try anything. I think that would be my biggest piece of advice when we get to advice later is try lots of different sports. It doesn't have to be, a spinning class. It doesn't have to be going in and breaking your body doing CrossFit. I mean, I could have just gone paddleboarding. Right. So I wish I would have just tried some of those other more fun, adventurous things that I wasn't able to do as a gymnast. I was never allowed to ski. I should have tried snowboarding. I lived in Colorado.
I want to just comment about that. So kind of unrelated, but I have, I think I've talked about this, but I do a ballet class, which was my worst aspect of gymnastics. I know your mom teaches ballet, right? So not hers, but my worst part of gymnastics was the ballet classes, okay? Or ballet in general. I love it now. I love to be able to do ballet, and there's a girl in my ballet class, and I can say this because she's got a social media handle about this, but she calls herself the potato ballerina. Because, think about it, most ballerinos are lanky and long and skinny, and she's not. And she's never done ballet, never done anything like it, and she does our ballet class, and we did a little performance, and she has a little blog about potato ballerina. So my point to that is one of the cutest things I've ever heard, but also, like Mohini's saying, try things that are not like what you maybe would think to be yourself as an athlete or other, that you would normally think to do. Okay, so the next question, I would just say, you did already point out some of them, but what do you think your main challenges were? Identity, you said.
Identity for sure. What to do with my time. I didn't have any hobbies. The only hobby I had was gymnastics, because with gymnastics, training at that level, you don't have time to have any other hobbies. So, I mean, even something as small as sewing or knitting, I didn't have any of those things, so I had no idea what to do, I remember watching a lot of TV, just a ton of it.
Yeah, you go through almost like a detox isn't really the word I was looking for, but that's all I can think of, from all you've known to recreate these things. And in my injury book, I talk about that, having a minor, because most athletes just focus solely, they, like this siloing. We only do one thing, and we don't know how to do anything else. Okay, what are some of the physical things you have enjoyed post-gymnastics?
Post-gymnastics, okay. Well, post-gymnastics, I actually took a 7-year hiatus and didn't work out at all. I was building a business and being a mom as well, so that stuff kept me occupied. After that, I started snowboarding, so I got a midweek mountain pass, and I went up the past 2 or 3 seasons during the day when my kid was at school. I also started doing CrossFit a couple years ago, and what I really realized is that I absolutely hate cardio and pushing myself to the point where I want to die.
Do you almost get like, I figured this out the other day, I almost get like PTSD. Like,
it's so much like just like gymnastics training,
like,
and doing floor
my God,
routines.
that's so hard.
So, but what I really enjoyed about the CrossFit was the weightlifting, and so I ended up doing Olympic weightlifting, and so I currently compete in the Masters category. I qualified to Masters Worlds. I've got Masters Nationals coming up next month. I did Masters Pan Am Games. So a whole bunch of, just fun stuff. And again, this isn't something I would have thought about doing ever. You know, I'm 4'9" and I weigh 99 pounds. Why would I ever think that I'm going to lift weight?
I look tall.
So actually, the International Weightlifting Federation created a new weight class just when I started. And so there's actually a weight class for me at 99 pounds, and I get to compete, at the master's level, which means I compete with people that are 40 to 45. So it's perfect. I found something that I can do competitively that's super fun, doesn't involve cardio. It maybe involves working four times a week, and I get to compete with people that are my age and my height and my weight. So it's kind of perfect.
You're missing something.
What?
The American Ninja Warriors.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, but wait, there's more.
So I made it into the, not finals, but prelims for American Ninja Warrior. So I did that, I think it was like February or March this year, but they didn't show me on TV. My story was not exciting.
We were like, this is perfect.
There's so many good stories out there of people that have just overcome so many things. I don't know.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway, I think that was something I thought was really neat about Mohini's story is the things that she did physically beyond gymnastics. And like she said, she took 7 years of doing nothing. And I think a lot of athletes do take some time to figure out and not want to even look at I've said this before, but look at a staircase. I don't want to climb stairs. I don't want to do anything I don't have to do. I don't want to work out if I don't have to. Some people not. Some people really enjoy being physical. I know I always did, but I just kind of dabbled in things that didn't really train for things. But anyway, okay. What have you done outside of sports that has fulfilled you? So kind of what we're looking at now is what have you created? I know you can talk about business and family and things like that.
Yeah. Honestly, everything I do is somewhat wrapped in this sport of gymnastics, but running a business is not doing gymnastics. It's still being in the gym and still getting to have that interaction with the athletes. And I have to say, the one thing with my retiring from gymnastics that helped me the most was I was so lost, I didn't know what to do, and I ended up stepping in and coaching. And so that was a way for me to still stay involved and stay happy and still enjoy the sport without feeling like it was a complete loss. It took me a couple of years to find that after 04, but it was a really good way to transition because I just kind of went from coaching, to buying the gym and building a business and that kind of stuff. I think some of my kids were waving in the back there.
The athletes like to be on camera. And Tristan.
Yeah, so I have a 10-year-old son. He likes to play baseball, played soccer last year. He's super active. He'll come in the gym and bounce on the trampoline for 2 hours and play around on rings, but he will not join the boys team, which is totally okay with me because he's got his own path and he'll figure that out, and I want him to do something that he loves to do. So as long as he's in here at least being active, and I bet you anything, he's on his phone in my office right now.
You know what? I can jump for 5 minutes, so it's all good. 2 hours, he's pretty darn good at that. How about optional question, if you want to answer this, is any advice you have for anyone watching or who has watched that is currently in that period of they just retired or are retiring and are trying to figure it all out? Any advice or anything that you wish you would have had then to help you, support you?
Honestly, I think take out a Parks and Rec book, open it up and look at the classes and the activities and different things, because there's a lot of suggestions in there. I wish I would have tried a lot more than I did. I was very closed-minded. Like, I should have gone to take that sewing class,
Right.
or, you know, learn how to can foods, or I just, you know, there's some of those interesting activities that you might really enjoy that you just don't know about. And so I think just taking one of those recreational books that any city has and looking through them will give you a lot of information, and then it also will help you meet people that are outside of the sport as well. So I would say try anything and everything that you might be just a little bit interested in, because it'll help you, you know, fulfill your time. It'll help you meet other people, and you might find something that you truly love.
That's awesome advice, actually.
Kind of
Yeah.
random, but Parks and Rec
No.
book, you know.
That's awesome. All right, so now I am going to open it up to questions. If there are any, go ahead and fire them through. You can fire through questions. And I also, why I'm here and live on site, you can hear a little bit of background noise because we are live and gymnastics is going on. So I wanted to show you what Mohini has created in this gym. So I'm just going to kind of show a little bit of the gym and what goes on here. That I mean, this is hers. She owns it, and actually 2 of my sons compete on her team. So this is where they hang out and train and things like that. If you have any questions for Mohini, and you're not watching the live and you're watching the rebroadcast, then you can always shoot me a comment in the comments area. I can get it off to Mohini, or I can, you know, ask her to answer it another time. There's always comments for that and areas for that. I think she did a really good job of answering everything. So if there aren't any questions, I am going to show you around and give you an idea of what she's created. And you guys know what a gymnastics center might look like, but it's kind of cool to see one live and in action, operating with her, hanging out with me. So this is all going on. You can hear medicine balls. You can hear kids maybe cheering or walking by waving. So I just wanted you to kind of get an idea of what it is to have a former athlete now own a business and create something like this, even if it's in your current sport and doing things outside, okay? And then we'll say our goodbyes. So look, we've got some, oh, you just missed them. They were doing some conditioning with medicine balls over here. And we've got planning. I think they're planning back there on beam. Planning on what they're gonna do. And teamwork. We've got some stunting. So not only does she have gymnastics, but she's got some cheer kids and some stunt practice going on, vault work. Oh, look, that's my son, if you can see him. That's one of my kids. And there's some boys gymnastics that goes on here. And then there's obviously her lobby and area for people to come on in that has glass for all the parents to see. So I've been pretty proud watching this chick create this business and work with everyone here. So I am so excited you could join us on this Facebook Live with Mohini Bhardwaj, and we'll see you very soon. Next week, same time, same place, I'm going to be live with a fabulous track athlete. She is a national champion, and she also has a business here that I am excited to share with you. So we'll see you next week, same time, same place. Have a fabulous week. See you later.
Thank you.
Bye.